Welcome in, belly up, have a seat, and grab a drink as we talk some Wingman fantasy football. Welcome on into another edition of Wingman Fantasy Football, the League Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Furley, and as always, I'd like to thank all of you, or any of you who may be watching or listening to today's show. This is episode 151, a 2025 mock draft episode. And as always, it is my great pleasure to welcome into the bar Mr. Bernie, aka Team B.
I'm Cuban B. Yes, Cuban B.
How are you doing today, Bernie?
I am doing all right, enjoying my Sunday afternoon.
All right. Yes, we are recording this early Monday morning when you get this.
Oh, shoot. I am enjoying my early Monday morning.
Very good, very good. All right, guys, in this show, we will get into some player news, and then we will settle into our mock draft where we go up against the ADPs and the rankings of some of the top major fantasy football sites out there. But before we do any of that, let's make sure that everybody is in the room. Wingman Assemble! All right, now that everyone is here, I want to start out with an apology, guys. First of all, I want to thank all of you guys who tried to log into yesterday's or 2 days ago, Saturday's live stream as I was trying to get the draft date drawing for the Wingman Fantasy Football League for the 2025 season in an effort to be as transparent as possible. But of course, technology and old man hands had a hard time getting that thing to work right. And I wanted to thank my assistant, Austin, to help me out. Bernie, how'd you experience the debacle of me trying to live stream in such a failure of a way here?
It was like going to Cafe 80s and ordering a Diet Pepsi from Max Headroom. It was, okay.
Very good. Very fair assessment of how it went down. I did see a couple of your collusion comments there saying that it was on purpose, but I get it.
I was just stoking the flames.
I appreciate that because I'm already hot enough. All right, guys. Now let's get into some player news. All right, we have a short list of player news today, guys. Starting off with Brian Robinson has been traded from the Commanders to the San Francisco 49ers. All right, we're going to talk about this one real quick because I'm of three minds on this. We'll get into some other guys here, but this one, I don't know how to handle this news. What's your first assessment or thought on the Brian Robinson trade to San Francisco?
They need him. I don't know the details of the trade. So what did they lose? What did they give up to get him? They definitely need him though. They need a running back on that team. So
San Francisco gave up nothing. They gave up a 6th round pick. I think they even got a 6th round pick back. I'm not sure about that part, but they gave a 6th round pick, but the Commanders are paying more than half of his salary. So they're getting him for a 6th round pick and at half price. So the Commanders just gave him away essentially. So that's interesting. That part's interesting to me. The other part that is interesting to me in terms of the San Francisco side, which is what most of us care about in terms of the running backs. Do you think this more affects the availability of Christian McCaffrey, who hasn't been on the field in public all off season, except for, the short times in practice with the reporters out there? Or is this more of a indictment on Isaac Guerrero being ready and or a quality enough player?
Isaac Guerrero's fantasy value definitely took a big hit. Well, it took a hit. Let's not call it a big hit. Let's not call it a small hit. It took a hit in this aftermath of this trade. But, if you're looking to get CMC in the first round or early second round, then I think you can consider Brian Robinson as that insurance policy now.
So you think Brian Robinson is more battling with Guerrero and what that role is more than McCaffrey's role?
For a 90% and above healthy McCaffrey, yes. Anything below that, though, then that's a different story.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to our news here. We've got Chris Godwin has been activated.
Activated.
He has been activated off the pup list, but there is a caveat here. He is not expected to be able or ready to play for the Bucks until early October. They're using this as a method to get him onto the practice field, so he's going to rehab during practice as opposed to rehab and then be activated and then begin practicing. So this is a 2-for-1 in terms of his timing and rehab, but he will not be ready to go for the Bucks in the early portion of the season. All right, moving on to the Green Bay passing game here. We've got a lot of injuries here and a lot of question marks. Jordan Love, Dontavian Wicks, and Jaden Reed are all nursing injuries, with Love being the most optimistic to be ready to play for the season opener, while the two receivers are still in limbo. We're not sure the severity and or how long they might be out. Let's stop with these two guys here. Chris Godwin has been activated, but is still expected to miss the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season, and the Green Bay passing game question marks all over the place.
Yeah, the Godwin thing is could be a bit of a headache for people that are interested in that team. Jalen McMillan is also expected to miss some time early in the season due to like a neck injury. So I don't know. Mike Evans is looking better, but I don't know if I trust that. Um, Godwin might be a good IR stash candidate. We'll go with that with a good wide receiver too. Overall projection.
Well, that's what makes this most interesting. With him being active off the pup list, I don't think he can land on your IR spot on your roster.
Interesting. There we go. Now we get into the minutia of it.
So yeah, I think for
But
fantasy, for Godwin, this is good news. But for fantasy, I actually think it's kind of a bit of a hit because he was one of those 3 guys I was looking to draft to put onto my IR. But if you have to hold him into an active spot for 3 to 6 weeks without playing him, that is a tough haul.
it is. It is. So depending on how strong you go into the wide receiver position, you might have a stash spot instead of stashing a rookie that you might think might blow up halfway through the season. You might want to go ahead and just stash one of these guys. He's just going to occupy a higher draft pick.
Do you have any thoughts on that Green Bay passing game? Those receivers, I haven't heard too much except that they're banged up and they're not been practicing, but nothing's long term. So I don't know when these guys might be ready.
Yeah, Green Bay. I don't have too much info on Green Bay. Let me see here. Let's see if we find something here. I I think Jordan Love is decent. So I wouldn't take anything away from his receiving core. If you've got some quality stuff going on, really this is one where it's like everybody's questionable except for the rookie, Golden. Um, McCole Hardman is there, but what's he really going to do besides return some kicks? So maybe this is a team that you're just going to circle and not really target these receivers as a go-to, but maybe their backfield might be somebody you might want to target
Yeah, it
because
seems
we
like
got. Go
sorry
ahead.
about that. It seems like every preseason here, the stock of Josh Jacobs just keep rising because he's the healthy one out of all these guys that are banged up.
Yeah, for sure. So Jaden Reed, he's got a good track record. Romeo Dobbs has got, entering his final year, so just trade rumors going around him. So it's really the good receivers, lots of preseason injuries. So I don't know. I really don't know about this one. Oh, and Dontavian Wicks hasn't
Okay.
even practiced
All
because
right,
of his
moving
calf
along here.
injury.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Thank you. All right, moving along here. Back to San Francisco. Jawan Jennings has been nerfing a calf injury, but it has been stated that he should. I hate these words, especially from San Francisco. Should be ready for week 1. Also, we have Devon Achan, who missed this last week of practice and the preseason game, is expected to return to practice and gearing himself up to be ready for week 1. Do you think either of these guys will be ready for week 1, Jawan Jennings or Devon Achan?
Uh, it's a coin flip for me. I actually have Achan pretty high up on my overall draft list as of before this set of games that got played. Is when I did my top 200. So he was up there pretty high. I'm going to say yes for Achan, and I'm going to say no for Jennings. But it's hard. It's hard to take whatever the news is that's coming out, um, and project it out multiple weeks. You have to wait until the week before. Everything is just so up in the air, unless it's a serious injury with surgery and everything like that. Um, I wouldn't take too much stock. I would plan on them starting, and then the week before your draft or the week before whenever, that's the news you should go off of.
Yeah, I find these the preseason, the what they have to disclose is not as stringent as it is during the season, so they can be a little more vague and not really give you a good timetable.
Mhm.
So it's kind of hard to get yourself set up that way.
Yeah, exactly. Juwan Jennings is good though, so it's really tough. It really is tough. I wouldn't draft either one of these players, just because there's probably in those ranges of where they're going. There's probably players that you don't have to question.
Gotcha. Fair point there. All right, moving on to the New Orleans Saints. Most of these teams have named their starters, including we mentioned last show about Daniel Jones and Joe Flacco, but the Saints are playing it coy with their two awful options. They have yet to name a starter for week one. I guess Spencer Rattler and is it Tyler Shuck are the main two competitors here. They've been alternating during the preseason, playing a lot of time, not being particularly successful. I don't know which way they're going to go. I don't even know what they're trying to do, if they're trying to win or just get earlier on pick for next year's quarterback. What do you think about the New Orleans Saints yet to name a starter, and who do you prefer to be the name the starter?
Do I want the rookie? I don't know. Do I want Rattler? I mean, I've seen what he can do, so I guess he's more of a sure thing as far as what I'm going to get out of him. And what Jake Hayner is the backup. I really don't know. I tell you who I would be concerned about. I would be concerned about the backfield over there. Whoever's going to take the snaps is definitely going to affect the outcome of that backfield. If Rattler takes the snaps, then this looks more positive for me. If is it show
I
shall
think I think
I
it's
don't know how to say it.
Shuck, like it's a hard
Oh,
G,
okay,
like a hard GH, like a kind of.
okay. Well, if Shuck is in, I would be real concerned about that backfield.
It's a fair point again. All right, moving on to back to the Commanders. We're kind of bouncing or not back and forth. We got Terry McLaurin. He was activated off the pup list a couple weeks ago, but he still is holding out, not practicing, maybe holding in, depending on how you want to say. But he has not been practicing, not been offering his services, as he is dealing with a potential contract extension that has not yet come. This is now getting close. Whether he actually gets a deal signed or not, based on our experience, this is definitely going to put him back at least 2 to 4 weeks in terms of production. Do you think it's going to be more than that? Is he going to sign before the season, or is he going? How does this affect him? Obviously, we think it's going to put him on a slow start. Is it going to make it an awful year for Terry McLaurin, even if he does sign?
Uh, what did we say earlier a couple episodes ago about these holdouts, these big player holdouts? They start slow, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
he's starting slow, then his value should drop. Um, his quarterback is the one that's going to help him retain that value. So it really comes down to um, elite talent in proven situations. Um, the contract concerns, is that something that he is dealing with personally, or he's just putting it in the hands of his agent and he's not getting distracted by it? Is he, studying film? Is he doing all the things he needs to do? Um, I think he's a solid wide receiver too, with the potential for more. That's what I would say for that.
So the follow up, as I see it, is we determine that elite players still may have a slow start, and that slow start may be a little
Mhm.
smaller, but they can overcome by the end. Do we consider Terry McLaurin an elite receiver? Is he closer to CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase, or is he closer to Brandon Ayuk? I think I know the answer to that, and I know which way that went last year. Is he closer to Ayuk, to Jamar Chase? Is he elite or is he not?
I personally think he is. I think he remains Daniel's primary target. It's a high-powered offense. So as of now, because of the possible slow start, wide receiver two upside, and he's got a very strong high floor.
Okay.
So I wouldn't put him out. I would call him almost elite. But
Okay. Very fair. Very good.
he's got all the tools he needs to be elite.
Gotcha. All right. Staying in Washington here. With the trade of Brian Robinson, we mentioned a little bit on the top here, but more on the San Francisco side. I made the assumption, that Chris Rodriguez was going to become the starter as of that last last preseason game. He got all of the carries with the first team with Jaden Daniels on that nice touchdown drive. But all the chatter is that Chris Rodriguez is merely a goal line back, a third and a short yardage back, and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt and or Austin Eckler are going to be the main guys here. I'm a little torn out. Now we have a three-way question mark of middling mediocre. Eckler has the best pedigree, also the most advanced age here. What do you think about the Commanders' backfield? Who do you think is going to be the most valuable when it comes down to it between Chris Rodriguez, Austin Eckler, and Ja'Cory, call me Bill, Krosky Merritt?
What about McNichols? Is McNichols there
And
still?
McNichols too.
Did
Yep,
I
another
miss
guy. Yep,
something?
that's yep.
Okay. Austin Eckler, he moves into the starting role for me. So that means that Ken will be drafting Austin Eckler as the starting running back for the Washington Commanders.
All right. We got one more guy here. This has been a little bit of a conflicting reports here. We have Najee Harris. We have to bring him up. It says that he
Yeah.
may be ready for week one. We've already heard that from the agent, but this time the report comes straight from the LA Chargers front office and coaching staff. He is not automatic to play, but being that there's a chance that he's been doing drills on the side and he may be ready for week one, as coming from the team itself is a little bit of a better news in terms of his availability going forward. Although that ship has sailed and we are all on the Amarian Hampton train here. Do you think Najee Harris has a chance to be ready early in the season, if not week one? And you think he's going to take some work away from the promising rookie?
Well, let me put a question back to you before I answer that.
Sure.
Is Najee Harris, all things being equal, better than J.K. Dobbins and or Gus Edwards?
He's a combination of those guys, maybe a tick better, but not. I would say he's in that same range. He's like the top of that tier, but it's still in that range of play.
Okay. All right. So best case scenario, healthy in week one, he splits the backfield with Hampton and it's going to be a run heavy scheme with Harbaugh's, uh, uh, game plan here. It's a better situation than Pittsburgh. And I think he's got RB2 potential. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario for me here. Misses 4 games on the NFI list. Hampton takes over and does not relinquish that role.
All right, very good points once again. But now let's get into what we came here for. We are doing a mock draft, everybody. We're doing a 14 team, 14 round mock draft. We have drawn our spots, and for this mock draft, I will be selecting from the 6th position, while Bernie is selecting from the 9th position. Let me set up the board here, and let's see. What do you think about the 9th position? You seem destined to be in that back half of the draft board.
The 9th position out of 14 teams is okay. It's a bummer, honestly. It's like, let's get the
right.
top, the generational talents are gone, and now it's just like elite starters maybe, and it's just a tough group to want to sift through.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's set the stage for who we're drafting against and what the spots are that they have here. All right. Starting off on the board here, if you guys can see, our first pick is CBS Sports. Our second pick in this mock draft will be conducted by the top ranking list of Fantrax. I'm learning a lot of new sites doing this, guys, trying to fill up a 14-team board. We've gotten pick number 3 is ESPN. And pick number 4 is FFPC. That is for Fantasy Football Player Championship. A little note here, guys. The more letters in the name, the higher the stakes these sites are dealing with here, these Vegas sites. And pick number 5 is NFL.com. Pick number 6 is yours truly, Mike's Tears. We'll be crying all day long. In pick number 7, we have the site that we use for most of our information, Yahoo. In pick number 8, we have Sleeper. Pick number 9, we have Bernie's Team B.
I'm Cuban B. Yes, Cuban B.
And pick In pick number 10, we have RT Sports. In pick number 11, we have Underdog Best Ball. Pick 12 is NFFC, National Fantasy Football Championship. Pick 13 is Fantasy Pros, and pick 14 is the consensus of all of these sites put together and average to get the consensus for that for their order there. All right, with that being said, guys, let's get right into the draft. Our first pick here is Jamar Chase, of course. So our second pick is up. It is Fantrax, and they're going to select Bijan Robinson. ESPN is now on the board here. And Saquon Barkley, another running back. We've got 2-1 in terms of running backs. FPC is up with the fourth pick, and they take Jahmyr Gibbs. NFL.com is now up with that fifth pick. And they take CeeDee Lamb. So it is now over to yours truly. I'm looking at my board here. I lost my top 200, so I'm kind of looking through my positions. And I've got my number one pick overall is still on the board. Now, I might have them rated higher than most players out there, but that looks good to me. All right, let's get this going here a little bit. Who would you? I mean, I've already put it in. I'm saving it for the viewers here. Who would you take if you had this pick here, Bernie?
On the sixth pick, and CeeDee Lamb is already gone. I would be taking Justin Jefferson since he's still on the board, or so he hasn't been drafted yet. Justin Jefferson's my pick.
He has. All right. Well, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm going with the running back. That's what I do here. I am going to my top rated running Christian McCaffrey. Brian Robinson be darned. He is my pick here. So now we do move along to Yahoo. Let's see if they take who you suggested should have been taken in the sixth pick. Let's see here. I think we got a little delay here. I apologize about that. I recall this now. So you think wide receiver is definitely the better pick there over McCaffrey?
Yes, I think Justin Jefferson is a better pick over McCaffrey.
Fair enough. All right, come on, Yahoo. It's your turn to make your pick. Who are you selecting? There it goes. Justin Jefferson. You had that right all along, Bernie. Justin Jefferson goes to Yahoo. Up next is Sleeper. And Sleeper selects Puka Nacua. It is now over to Bernie. It is your pick at the 9th. What are you thinking here? Who's the top three guys on your list, and which way do you think you might go?
So next up, I mean, everybody above the 9th pick for me is how my list has been taken. So that's going pretty much on point. For me, the next set of people is Neighbors, Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie Genty, those types of players. So I'm going to just go off on my list because I did the research, and I'm going to take.
All right, well, let's put it in. Let's see what you got.
My neighbor.
All right. Malik Neighbors, there you go. Right, you got it. Pick, Bernie. Malik Neighbors is off the board. And the rookie Ashton Genty goes over to RT Sports. I want to let you guys in on a little secret here. Bernie had to step away for a little bit, so we're going to continue this draft here without him. He did give me his picks, as Amon-Ra St. Brown was next off for Underdog. NFFC takes Brian Thomas Jr. a little early, in my opinion, but a quality receiver nonetheless. Nico Collins goes to Fantasy Pros with that 13th pick. And the all consensus, this is the average of all the rankings and ADPs, is the last pick. And they take Derrick Henry with the 14th pick in the first round. Following up on the turn here, they're going to double dip with running backs at Devon. The man A-Chan comes in for all consensus. Back to Fantasy Pros, looking to take their next pick with Drake London. Doubling up with receiver. Now NFFC goes. I missed that they took Brock Bowers, and then A.J. Brown goes to Underdog. Over to RT Sports once again, and Josh Jacobs is the pick here. They have two running backs in the first going here. It is now over to Bernie. Like I said, he's given me his list here. I'm looking down who he has rated the highest. And looking down here, oh, did I lose him? Okay, what pick number is this? It's 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So he's got Jonathan Taylor next up on his list as a 17th rated player. So he's going to take Jonathan Taylor. Over to Sleeper, who takes a running back of their own. They put Bucky Irving in on the board. Now it's over to Yahoo. Who is Yahoo going to select this time? Yahoo takes Chase Brown. All right, guys, it is back over to me. I'm looking at my list here, and I've got my 6th rated running back available, and my earliest rated receiver is 9. Pardon me for that. So I'm going to go with running back as I have this rated higher. I'm going to go with Kyren Williams.
Release the Kraken.
All right, Kyren Williams is off the board for Mike's tiers, and we move along here. We are down to NFL.com. They are on the clock looking to pair up a player with CeeDee Lamb. They take Lamar Jackson, first quarterback off the board, over to FFPC, who started out with Jahmyr Gibbs, and they're going to add George Kittle to their team. Now over to ESPN, who started off again with another strong running back of Saquon Barkley. And it looks like they are going to go quarterback with Josh Allen, second quarterback off the board. These two finished 1 and 2 at the position in terms of Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Trey McBride of Frankenstein is going to go to Fantrax.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
All right, now we have Joe Burrow taken at the end of round 2. Let's take a look at the look through 2 rounds. Again, this is 14 teams deep. All right, what catches my attention here is that we had a little run of quarterbacks at the end of round 2. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. All 3 of those guys are in my first tier, but Burrow is on the bottom of that tier. They did not take Jalen Hurts. They did not take Jaden Daniels, as Joe Burrow was more highly ranked in terms of CBS Sports' rankings. All right, guys, let's keep moving this along. Who else caught my attention here? We have the tight ends, of course. I think these 3 are the top 3 tight ends. I think that's pretty fair to say. They went a little earlier than you might expect. Keep in mind, though, in our league, we group tight ends and receivers together, while these other draft boards have a dedicated tight end, and that might make them a little more valuable. All right, let's get back to the board here. Alvin Kamara was taken on the turn here to start off for CBS Sports in round 3. Followed up, who is next off the board? Jackson Smith and Jigba goes to Fantrax. Next up is ESPN, who took a quarterback in their second pick, takes T. Higgins as their number 1 receiver. It's a little risky to be your number 1 quality player, but your number 1 receiver, that is a little overpriced in my estimation. Ladd McConkey goes to FFPC for their first wide receiver. Back to NFL.com, who takes Jaden Daniels. They take 2 quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds. This is bonkers, guys, but I said if you can get those top 2 of the top tier, it's the time to do it. You have a stranglehold. No matter which one of these guys does well, you're going to have at least a top 3 quarterback, maybe 2 of the top 5, and so you're cornering the market. And on a big draft board like this with 14 teams, not only are you cornering the market for yourself, but now half of your opponents out there are going to have weaker quarterbacks than yourself. I like this, and if Jaden Daniels can continue what he did, you have a big trade chip in Lamar Jackson. Let's keep this moving along here. Let's zoom back out over to my team here, and I take Jalen Hurts. He was my 5th rated quarterback. He was in the top tier of me where I had 5 quarterbacks. He was my 3rd rated quarterback. So the fact that I got the last of a tier, that's always such a good feeling when you can get the last guy in a tier. You don't have to reach, and you get the value you want. Jalen Hurts in the 3rd round is a steal to me, or at least appropriately priced. Over to Yahoo, and they take the rookie, Amarin Hampton, our 2nd rookie running back off the board. Over to Sleeper, who looks up, and they take Tyreek Hill. It is now over to Bernie's team B here. Let's take a look at his guys. Let's see which of these guys might have been taken ahead here. All right. Let's see. Where do we go? So he had Tyreek Hill, who's off the board. Ladd McConkey's off the board. He had T. Higgins rated ahead of Tyreek Hill. So these guys are going the way they would go. His quarterbacks were the next group. So actually, he's got someone blaring here. His 27th ranked overall player. He's going receiver. Bernie's going to take Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is going to head his way over to Team B, as Team B has have a balanced approach here. 2 receivers, 1 running back. It is now over to RT Sports, who started out with 2 running backs, and they're going to take a 3rd. Breece Hall, the enigma here. Is he going to be a star? Is he even going to play for the Jets? But he goes to RT Sports to fill up that running back room. And Underdog stays with receivers with a second jet back-to-back. Garrett Wilson goes to Underdog Fantasy. We move along here to NFFC, who takes Marvin Harrison Jr. Last year went in the first round. This year falls to the third. A much better price for the second-year receiver out of Arizona. Fantasy Pros takes Mike Evans late in the third round, who's always perfectly priced. And we go to the all consensus, starting off with 2 running backs. Picks a third running back, James Cook, to start out with 3 running backs. And on the turn here, takes a 4th running back, Kenneth Walker. Texas Ranger is gone. They have 4 running backs for the all consensus team. Moving along to Fantasy Pros, DJ Moore goes to Fantasy Pros for 4 receivers. They are dipping their toe with one position over and over again, as is NFFC with Terry McLaurin. They have 4 receivers if you count tight end as a receiver. We're now down to Underdog Fantasy, who takes the running back Chuba Hubbard, and RT Sports is next on the clock. And they take Travion Henderson, our 3rd rookie running back drafted early in round 4. We are over to Bernie's Team B. Let's take a look at his list that he gave me here. All right. Everyone is gone through, let's see, most of the 4th tier here. All right. Sorry, looking his list over real quick. All right. He's got another running back at the top of his list. His 43rd rated player is James Conner. James Conner is going to go to Bernie's Team B. Very balanced. 2 receivers, 2 running backs for Team B. Way to go, Bernie. Is now over to Sleeper, who takes Rashee Rice. We're not sure yet if and when he's going to be suspended and for how long. So a little bit of a risk there, but a pick. Rashee Rice goes to Sleeper. And Yahoo takes Devontae Smith. Is that who they take there? Devontae Smith goes to Yahoo. It is now over to me, guys. I'm looking over my list here. I've got some thoughts. Let's see what we got. That whole tier is gone in terms of running back. I've got, in terms of my best running backs available, I've got David Montgomery, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson, and Isaiah Pacheco. And in terms of receivers, so I've got my 16th rated receiver left, and my highest rated running back is 18. That's pretty close, but being that I have 2 running backs already, I think I'm going to go for the receiver. I am going to dip here with DK Metcalf. Hopefully he can be the end zone target for Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. It's a bit of a gamble, I do admit, but DK Metcalf is coming in to my team. Over to NFL.com. Sam Laporta, goes in the 4th round to NFL.com. Moving down to FFPC, we have the rookie King Tedero McMillan goes to FFPC in the 4th round. I think that's the first rookie receiver off the board. Xavier Worthy follows up.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
And now Fantrax is on the board, and they select Cortland Sutton back down to CBS Sports. Who are they looking to take here? They take Aaron Jones. So they've got 2 running backs, a receiver and a quarterback. Let's see what else we got here. Any of these people feel like steals or reaches? Let me take a quick gander over here, guys. I'm thinking that Laporta is the reach so far. Again, we don't rank tight ends that highly in terms of how they play in our league. So I could see that being just a setting situation. Anyone else catch my attention as a reach? Not really. And a steal? Not really. Xavier Worthy may be a steal. I'd say he's just priced just right. So pretty good there, guys. I think everything's going according to plan. All right, we're staying here with the turn here. DeAndre Swift starts off the 5th round for CBS Sports. Now it's over to Fantrax. And they take Jameson Williams, one of Bernie's favorite players. Unfortunately, he is drafted before he gets a chance to take him. Now it's over to ESPN, who takes their 2nd quarterback. Our 2nd team with 2 quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, goes to ESPN. Now we are moving over to FFPC, who takes another rookie running back, RJ Harvey. Now over to NFL.com's, who takes Joe Mixon. It is now my turn, guys. We are weak at receiver. We've got 2 strong running backs, assuming health, and an elite quarterback. So we're going to need some receiver help. Let's see here. I got my 18th rated running back while I have my 22nd rated receiver. So I do have a better, oh man, I usually don't do this. I usually just follow off the order here. Although I think I need a little help. I can't trust DK Metcalf here. So I am going to take a receiver, and I am going to go with Deebo Samuel is my second receiver. Hopefully he can rebound after a dud year last year. So I've got two questionable receivers, two receivers. Hopefully one can become a one. Zay Flowers goes next to Yahoo. Who would you take, Deebo Samuel or Zay Flowers? That's a very interesting question. Now it is over to Sleeper. They have a balanced roster, and they take David Montgomery, the always solid performer, and is now over to Bernie's team. He's got two running backs, two receivers, very balanced. He can go any way. He's looking potentially to go to a quarterback. Let's take a look at his list here. Nope, he's got receivers ahead of that next tier of quarterback. He is going to go with a receiver here. Once again, it looks like Bernie's going to go with Calvin Risky. The roller coaster man himself, Calvin Ridley, is back on Bernie's team. Over to RT Sports. They are up, and Patrick Mahomes goes. I think that is the right pick in terms of quarterbacks, but Bernie had the receivers ahead of the quarterbacks. Moving along to Underdog Fantasy, takes George Pickens. A little bit of a gamble here. He could have a great year, or he's the number 2 for Dallas this time around. Over to NFFC, who takes Jalen Waddle. Very comparably ranked here to George Pickens. That seems fair to me. Now we're over to Fantasy Pros. Chris Olave, a little run of these youngish potential receivers here who have underperformed the last couple years. And the rookie, Travis Hunter, goes over. Travis Hunter. Sorry about that. Got a little tangled up. Travis Hunter goes to all consensus to start the turn here. Their first running back is a rookie, or first wide receiver rather, is a rookie. They follow up with Isaiah Pacheco. I like the value there. I think he's going to bounce back. Tony Pollard goes next to Fantasy Pros. NFFC, our high stakes fantasy sites, is up next. They are on the clock. They take Jerry the Judge Judy. Moving along here to Underdog Fantasy. They are on the clock right now. And let's see, they take the tight end TJ Hawkinson with their pick. It is now over to RT Sports, who has 4 running backs and 1 quarterback. And they take another rookie running back, Caleb Johnson, their second rookie running back. It is now over to Bernie here. Let's see, look at his list. He's got a tier wiped out. And his he had Patrick Mahomes and Baker Mayfield in a tier that were after the receivers that went. So he is going to look down to go to the next tier of quarterbacks, but not yet, as his receivers are ranked higher. He is going to go receiver once again. He is going to go with Rome Odunze, who finds his way back over to Bernie's team. We are now up to Sleeper, and they are on the clock. They take Keyshawn Junkins. I don't know what to make of this guy. I don't know when he's going to play. He hasn't been signed officially. He's got a suspension coming. That is a risky pick. Tyron Tracy is next. He is, oh, come on. He is next on the clock here, or next one taken. All right, guys, as you can see here, I took Travis Kelce. This is somebody I just can't quit. Last year, I took him in the 3rd or 4th round. It's still, is he going to bounce back? I don't know, but at this late juncture here in the latter 6th round, it seems like a bargain and worth the risk to take him down. All right, Bo Nix goes next. The 3rd quarterback taken by NFL.com. These guys are reaching for quarterbacks here. Bo Nix, though, is an awesome 3rd quarterback. If he can perform like last year, you can trade someone like Daniels or Lamar Jackson. Jacoby Myers, the always steady, heads his way over to FFPC, and ESPN is now on the clock. ESPN takes David Njoku out on the rakes here, and we are moving along to Fantrax, who is up. Fantrax takes Stephon Diggs. They're having a run of receivers themselves. That is their 4th consecutive receiver they have taken. Now it is over to CBS, who starts off with Mark Andrews to end the round 6, and they're going to start round 7 as they are on the turn. and they take Brian Robinson, now of San Francisco. That's a little, obviously, this was probably ranked prior to the trade. That's not too early for the elite handcuff here, maybe a round earlier. So, all right. Jordan Addison goes to Fantrax, and ESPN is up, and they take their third quarterback at Kyler Murray. Again, for a third quarterback, Murray is perfect. A little early to have that many quarterbacks, but I don't mind it if you get quality picks. Evan Ingram goes to FFPC. It is now over to NFL.com, who takes Chris Godwin. All right, guys, we mentioned this before. He is off the PUP list. You cannot put him in your IR spot. He is going to be on your bench and not playing for the next 3 to 5 weeks. It is over to my team here, guys. I'm looking at my list, and maybe I have him rated too high, but he is screaming as he is well above the remaining players. I'm going to follow the trend here of NFL.com and ESPN. I'm going to take my third quarterback. I'm looking here. I'm going to take the second-year player of New England, Drake May, as a third quarterback. If he can perform quite well, then I've got some trade shit. Oh, no, he's my second quarterback. I apologize. Second quarterback. If he performs pretty well, I've got a chance to trade away Hurts at a high value. All right, next up off the clock is Jaylen Warren of Pittsburgh. Khalil Shakir goes to Sleeper, and Bernie is on the clock. Once again, his quarterbacks, he needs one, but he is they're down on his ranking here. He's going to stick with a positional receiver, and he is going to go with the wide receiver. He is sticking with the receiver room, going with Cooper Kupp as his fifth receiver. Out of Ridley Odunze Cup, he's got a bona fide superstar as that third receiver, maybe more than that. Jordan Mason heads to RT Sports. It is now over to Underdog. They are on the clock. Ricky Pearsall goes to Underdog, and we mentioned this in our last show, the ambiguously ranked duo. Now it is time to start looking for his partner, Juwan Jennings. Don't take the first one. Take the second one. That's how you know the value. Let's see how long it takes before Juwan Jennings is drafted as NFFC is on the clock. Oh, there he goes right there. He is taken right now as both 49er receivers are taken back-to-back, Pearsall and Jennings. Over to Fantasy Pros, Dak Prescott has been drafted by the pros. Over the all consensus, who have more running backs, and their number one receiver is a rookie, and their number two receiver is also a rookie. Matthew Golden might be the only healthy one in Green Bay. So they have two rookies. Make that three rookies, and my favorite rookie in terms of value, second favorite rookie overall, Emeka Ibuka, also goes to all consensus. They like the rookie ranks. Travis Etienne goes to Fantasy Pros in the 8th round, guys. He was our dud of the year last year, but in the 8th round, everyone's draftable. Maybe he can rebound, and if he doesn't, you didn't waste a high-value pick. Jared Goff goes to NFC. Oh, these streaming quarterbacks are being taken ahead of Bernie as Brock Purdy 2 is taken. Is one of his favorite quarterbacks going to make it to this pick or not? Caleb Williams, a little high. I've got some other quarterbacks ranked a little higher there. It is over to Bernie, and he still has some positional players ranked higher than these quarterbacks here. This time, he's got enough receivers, so he's going to balance out with a running back. He's going to go with a starting running back in Dallas. Best blitz picker up there. Javonte Williams is heading over to Bernie. Nice balanced team for Bernie, although he is kicking the can down the road in terms of his running back. Jaden Reed goes next to Sleeper, and it is over to Yahoo on the clock. They have yet to get a quarterback. Oh, but they pick one here, Justin Fields. I think that is a perfect value starting quarterback right here. Let's see if Bernie's going to kick himself for missing out instead of taking Javonte Williams. It is now over to me, and now I'm going to follow the trend here of NFL.com and ESPN. I've got a quarterback rated way higher than anyone else on the board. Again, I don't need three, but if two of these bottom two guys can overperform, I've got a trade chip from the top one. I'm going to go with LA Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. All right, put him in the board. Justin Herbert's going to Amazing Spidey. That's me. All right, put it in there. He is Justin Herbert. Over to NFL.com. And who are they going to select? They picked Jonnu Smith of all the tight ends out there. I guess there's a lot of tight ends off the board, but that's a little early for Jonnu Smith, in my opinion. Tyler Warren, another tight end, rookie tight end out of Indianapolis, is selected next. Over to ESPN. And they take the Steelers. Our first defense is off of the board. Wow. Now over to Fantrax, they have Hero RB. Are they going to stay with? Nope, they get their rookie. That's kind of good for your late running back to have a rookie who might perform later. Cam Scatteraboo of the Giants is selected. And the Philadelphia Eagles goes to CBS Sports. All right, let's pause it here. We're finished 8 rounds. We finally have our defenses taken off the board. I'm noticing here these legacy sites, ESPN and CBS, have the kickers and defenses rated higher in their top 200 than the real sharp type sites. So those two sites have their defenses. I hope they play well for them if they've got their pick of the litter. All right, picking up starting round 9, CBS Sports is on the clock, and they take Zach Charbonnet for a running back here. Fantrax needs some more running back help and or a quarterback. They haven't taken a quarterback yet, but they're going to stick with the running back, J.K. Dobbins, off the board for Fantrax. All right, ESPN was the first to take a defense, and they are also the first to take a kicker, Brandon Aubrey, my favorite kicker by far, but he is taken off the board. Honestly, I think that's a decent value for him. Josh Downs is taken next by FFPC over another one of our legacy sites, NFL.com. And they select the Buffalo Bills. It is now over to yours truly. All right, let's see. What do I need on my team? I've got 3 receivers, 2 running backs, and 3 quarterbacks. I'm actually pretty balanced. I need a flex of any kind here. I'm looking down. I don't really love all these players. I'm going to take a little bit of a gamble. 9th round. If you're wrong, you cut them. If you're right, you get a steal. I'm going to go with the other running back out of Jacksonville. And being that it's a whole round and a half later, I think it's a pretty good value. Tank Bigsby is going to my team here. All right, let's pick up the board here. Let's see. Tucker Kraft goes to Yahoo. Now over to Sleeper. They are very balanced, and they too do not have a quarterback, and they're going to stay away one more time from quarterback. They take Najee Harris, getting the good news today that he might be ready for week 1. All right, so we've got several teams without quarterbacks yet. Let's see. Pardon me. We have Fantrax with a second pick without a quarterback. FFPC with the 4th team without a quarterback. Sleeper without a quarterback. Bernie without a quarterback. Those 4 teams. So he is last year. He can start a run either way with these teams, as he's going to get to pick twice before those other non-quarterback teams get to go. Is he finally going to go with the quarterback position? Let's take a look at what he's got on his board over here. He does not. He's got positional players rated higher, and he is going to go with another position that's not the quarterback, Ramondre Stevenson. Again, what does it hurt? He might be the bell cow for New England. His buzz is down with Travion Henderson, but shoot, for 9th round pick, what's the harm? Michael Pittman goes next to RT Sports over to Underdog Fantasy. And they take Keon Coleman. It is now up to NFFC, who's yet to draft a running back, 0-0-0 RB for NFFC. And they take their second quarterback of Jordan Love. So they've got 2, top 12, top 13 ranked quarterbacks. They're going to stream between Goff and Love. Over to Fantasy Pros, who takes Trevor Lawrence. That's okay. There's other quarterbacks I like better, but there's in that range. Now it's to our all consensus. Take the rookie Colston Loveland. All consensus likes rookies, it seems like, as they take the tight end rookie out of Chicago. And they take their first quarterback. Oh, I missed that. All consensus did not have a quarterback till now. CJ Stroud, at this late of a pick, that is a beautiful quarterback to take. Fantasy Pros on the clock here with Darnell Mooney, another receiver for their team. Over to NFFC without a running back. They take one now. Tajay Spears is going to be their number 1 running back. They are going to need help, and they're going to have to play the waiver wire. Underdog takes their second quarterback of the second-year rookie, as I like to call him, J.J. McCarthy, and is over to RT Sports. RT Sports takes Kyle Stinky Pitts, and it is over to Bernie. All right, will Bernie finally go for a quarterback or not? I'm looking over at his list here. He will not. He is going to push that off as long as he can, as he is going to take Keenan. Hey, don't call me fat Keenan Allen, as he puts in his pick. He's taking Keenan Allen, does Bernie. He's got all receivers, all running backs, no kicker, defense, or quarterback as of yet. Sleeper is now on the clock, and they take Dalton Kincaid. Can he bounce back from an awful last season? It's now over to Yahoo. And our third Jacksonville Jaguar running back has been selected in Bashul Tutin. Interesting pick. It is now over to yours truly. I need a lot of help. I need anything but quarterback. So whatever the best player available here. And honestly, I'm going to reach a little bit because I don't know if this guy's going to make it, and he's got a chance to be a start. These guys, I think, can start, and we'll see what we got. I'm going to go with the elder statesman on a new team with Joe Mixon being banged up and maybe not playing. I'm going with Nick Chubb. Can he rebound? We don't know. But at this price, what the heck? He's drafted later this year than he was last year, and he had better hype last year. Up another kicker off the board. Chase McLaughlin goes to NFL. Like I said, these legacy sites, so they've got a defense and a kicker. FFPC takes the rookie out of Dallas, Jadon Blue, rookie running back from Dallas, over to ESPN. They take Austin Eckler. What do you guys think about this? Do you think he's going to get the boatload of carries? I'm not sure, but it's worth the risk. It's similar to the Chubb pick and the Bigsby pick. Eckler could be a stud. Staying in that same backfield, Fantrax takes Ja'Cory, call me Bill Krosky Merritt. And now we're over to the end of round 10 as Dallas Goedert is selected by CBS Sports. All right, guys, we're going to stop it right here. We are zooming along here at the end of 10 rounds. So I paused the recording here so you don't have to go through all of the last 4 rounds here. Oh, I forgot. Okay, so we have our last 4 rounds done here. Starting off, it's mostly kickers and defenses. Let's see what players catch my attention. Well, I personally take Brandon Ayuk in the 11th round. He is going to be my IR stash. What does Bernie take? Does Bernie finally take quarterback? Bernie settles in as he went 0 quarterback, streaming quarterback. He's going to settle with Matthew Stafford and Geno Smith to play through the first couple weeks and see what he can get. I get Adam Thielen as my last positional player as we round out with kickers and defenses. I don't see anyone that really catches my attention as a value here. Cedric Tillman, maybe. Cedric Tillman, potential value in the beginning of the 12th round as Adam Thielen. Rashad Bateman. Yep, so those receivers in the 12th round all have chance to overperform, and if not, they're your first guys to cut. Pretty good. All right, guys. So as always, when we get to these drafts, I use the Primetime Draft Board to help us out here with this, and they like to give us grades at the end of the draft. So let's see how they graded these drafts. Why don't you look it over real quick and say, leave in the comments who you think had the best draft here, and then we'll let the Primetime Draft Board do the gradings. All right, here we go. Time for the grades to come in. All right. We have an A+ for FFPC, our high stakes fantasy site. And our worst grade is a D-, goes to Fantasy Pros. They had the 13th pick, and everyone else falls somewhere in between. There are the grades on the top here. Let's see. It looks like Bernie and I both got C's, so we're right in the middle. No pass, no fail. Our best. Oh, I don't have. It's a little hard for me to see here. So there's the grades there. You can look at that right there. Let's come out of this. I'm producing and doing this all in real time. All right, guys, let's get this out of the way. How do you guys think that mock draft went? 14 teams. We're doing 14 teams because our league, the Wingman Fantasy Football League, is a 14-league draft. So we want to have a little bit of idea where some of these players might fall in such a large draft. Guys, I want to thank you all so very much for joining me. Thank you to Bernie, who was able to join me to start with, but wasn't able to finish. And thanks for leaving that. Now I have your cheat sheet, Bernie. I'm going to make some notes against mine so I know who you're going to draft. All right, guys, with that being said, thank you for joining us for another episode of Wingman Fantasy Football, the League Podcast. You can find our audio feeds on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music. And also, we are now on iHeartRadio and the Odyssey app. If you could please rate us on your platform of choice, 5 stars would be most appreciated. If you want to see the video and our pretty, beautiful faces, go to our YouTube channel at Wingman Fantasy Football. wingman.com/YouTube. When you head over there, guys, do me the favor. Please, please, please leave a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. And we'll get your comments into our next mailbag segment in our next show. All right, a little bit of scheduling here. Our next show will be recorded Thursday night, come out to you early Friday morning. That'll be our last minute risers and fallers as we head into the busiest draft weekend of the season. Once the season starts, we'll have 4 episodes a week, but we'll start that with the Thursday night game opener. Until then, we will have a show next Friday. We'll have a draft day special where we'll get to meet some of the players in the Wingman Fantasy Football Draft and discuss how our draft went and our opinions. Again, we have 14 teams, so it's going to be a big draft day, guys. With that being said, may your glass be full, your mugs stay frosty, and we will see you next time.